Ron, I gotta say, it's so good to finally be starting this 1930s New York City layout that we've been planning for all these years.
Yep, 5 years in the making, and we've been talking about it, and finally we're getting started on it.
Done some great projects, but this is kind of close, near and dear to my heart. What are you starting with right today? What are you working on?
Well, we're doing the subway, which is underneath the streets, because it's a lot easier to do it here than try to build the streets first and then put the subway underneath it.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm gonna love showing the viewers on Monday Morning Express this, because not a lot of people model.
Monday Morning Express?
Monday Morning Express starts today. I gotta get to the studio. I'll catch you later.
What are you
Ron.
doing here?
It's not Monday Morning Express without fresh coffee in my Monday Morning Express mug. Hey, guess what, guys? Monday Morning Express starts today.
Chuck, we got everything set for the interview as we start MME this season. You're all set, right?
all set.
You ready? No nerves?
Oh, I'm fine.
You good?
Yeah,
You good?
fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, we're ready to start. Where's Dan?
You know, one thing I've noticed, been here a while already, and I've noticed how hard you work around here and keep
thanks.
this whole thing together.
Yes, that's the truth.
Yeah.
Dan, he can't even get to work before 10. It's a challenge. But we got to get this show started. It's 10:30. Come on, where's Dan?
Sorry,
go,
guys.
Blazier.
I was
There
busy
he is.
talking with Ron about our new layout. I'm so excited. I forgot it was the new season of Monday Morning Express.
Monday Morning
It's
Express.
Chuck Sted.
Hi, Dan.
Union Terminal Imports.
Hi,
Thanks
Dan.
for coming down to see us.
Glad
That's
to be
going to
here.
make our season opener even more exciting having you here with us.
Thank you.
Looking forward to talking with you. We know you got a lot of projects in the works. How many?
8.
8 projects.
Very nice.
UTI is going to be busy. You and Ed both, right?
Yep, and we'll be giving you some detail here about 3 of them.
All right.
The most current 3.
So today
All right.
we get to find out about the top 3.
Yep.
I love it.
Very
I love
nice.
it. Very
Hey,
good.
let's talk about some of the other
Sure.
things coming up this season on Monday Morning Express.
Oh boy, Boyd Reyes.
Boyd, you know Boyd Reyes.
Absolutely.
Boyd has
What's a
quite a
good
fan
guy?
club because I guess we didn't have enough of him last season.
Yeah.
They were clamoring for more Boyd, so we are going to fulfill that request. Tell us what you and Boyd were able to film, Roland.
Yeah, you know, we were out there, he was showing us how to take care of some interiors, some other aspects that we can add. We did window glazing, especially like in dome cars where they were that nice teal color. He shows us a trick on being able to spray those.
And de-skirting.
And de-skirting models. So Boyd's a pretty handy
So
guy.
that changes the era. And really, I think we love, and I know he's done this for you, Chuck, like how you could take an older car that maybe is less expensive, create something that's never been produced, put interiors, modify it,
Right.
and then you got a one-of-a-kind Boyd.
I have
You've got a few of those, huh?
I have at least hundreds of them, and one on the planet, literally.
Very nice.
He is great. And now, in fact, through some encouragement, he's actually created a Boyd tag.
Yeah, say that again. It's a
Boyd tag.
Boyd
Boyd
tag.
tag.
What in the world is a Boyd tag? We're going to explain that this
yeah.
We had the little brass Boyd tags. made.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, right.
Can I wear them or? Nah, we'll show where they go.
Very tiny.
Very
So he's
tiny.
going to have this on his future
Yeah.
work, and then we're going to also talk with him about how maybe our viewers who have some pieces Boyd had done in the
Yeah.
past can like authenticate those.
Right.
Because there's a real value there.
Yeah.
We've seen it.
Really cool.
And that wasn't enough.
No.
Where else did we send Boyd?
Let's see. Does the name Tom Johnson come to mind?
Absolutely.
Recognize him?
Yeah.
Branson Scenic Railway. We sent him out to Missouri. He's
Yes.
on, what do you call it?
Field reporter.
Field reporter. Field reporter Boyd, FRB.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
He was
went
so
there.
good, he didn't win a Pulitzer, he won a Pullmanster.
So he went out to film the 25th anniversary.
That's it.
Yeah.
25th
Celebration,
anniversary.
and,
Branson Scenic,
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that. I've had the chance to ride the cab
Yeah.
in both of the engines, both directions with
Have
Tom
you
a couple
really?
of years ago.
Nice.
Yeah, we're a little
nice.
It was
jealous.
really fun. Yeah, Tom's a good friend.
Yeah, he's
we
a
wanted to
good
go
guy.
out there. We couldn't make it due to
Right.
scheduling. So that's great that Boyd could make it because we wanted to support Tom. That's quite an achievement, 25th anniversary.
Absolutely.
Of running that type of railway.
Yeah, you know, one of the other things that we're going to do this season is we're going to talk about weathering. And the master of weathering is
Who would you
Mr.
say that is?
Jerry Spolma.
Jerry Spolma.
We agree.
Yeah, so we got to go out to California. We got to sit with Jerry. And, you know, this is not something that guys who do weathering like to let out. And our audience is really going to be surprised at some of the interview, the images that we've captured of this weathering process from a master like Jerry, and also accompanying him was Juan Zuloga, who has really learned from Jerry some of these finer aspects of weathering. So really look forward to that.
Yeah, there's only a handful of guys that can weather like Jerry. So to be able to, whether you're going to try to mimic it, you can learn from these segments, or even if you just get pieces done by Jerry, you're going to have a whole new appreciation
Right.
for what goes into that type of weathering and the thought process behind it.
Sure.
And it's pretty neat.
Yep.
Another thing we're going to do is here locally, or inside our studio, we actually have our How To with Hal series. We're going to continue with that. You know, we had our painting processes with Boyd out in California. We've got our custom weathering with Jerry, and now we've got just another different element that Hal brings to the table in his painting process. So we're going to do that this season too.
Right, and everything you've done with Hal is good, but I
Yeah.
think Hal is best known for his painting. So I'm sure a lot of our viewers are going to
Yeah.
like to see some tips of his particular process.
And it's
how he
nice.
does
Each
it.
is a little bit different.
Sure.
Even Chuck, you've done some painting in the past.
Boyd taught me how to paint about 30 years ago.
Okay.
Really?
And for about 10 years, I painted models for myself.
Nice.
And then I had a problem. My neck blew up, and I had to have surgery. So at that point, I asked Boyd if he would just, you know, help me with that from now on, which is what he's done. I do a little touch-ups here and there, but
So painting can be a real pain in the neck. It's a labor of love, right?
right.
Oh,
Yeah. So
and
you're
it-
not going into competition.
I am
You're out of
absolutely
painting.
not.
Leave it to
I'm-
Boyd, right?
I'm
Yes.
retired. Yeah, I only did for myself.
Yeah. All right.
Another very popular guest that we've had a lot of requests to see again is Bob Darwin.
Oh man, Bob.
He's like a celebrity in the model railroad world.
hands down to Bob Darwin.
Yes, so
Oh,
he
yeah.
invited us to his ranch.
Yeah.
And we were able to go over a lot of things with him.
Yeah. If you haven't been there, you should give him a
I
call.
look forward to it.
Oh, what a great time we had there. Tell him some of the things that we're gonna see on this season's episodes of our visit with Bob.
I mean, number one, he's a great brass collector. He loves brass models. Number two, he's building a layout, so it's all about running his brass models, just like with you, Chuck. You know, getting them running, seeing those long passenger consists going down the tracks nice and smooth. And so he talks to us about everything from laying track to measuring scale speed. But then a section I really like too, and this season we're going to get into really the history behind brass, and not just the history, but the process behind brass. And so Bob has been involved behind the scenes for many years with research and design. He's got an extensive photograph collection he'll talk
incredible.
about, how it's organized, and how he can help an importer get the information they need to take that project from inception and make sure it's as good as it can be when it finally is produced.
Yeah. And might I mention, when you're a guest out at Bob's, you get to golf around
Now
on
the
the
guy
ranch.
treats you like a
And
champ.
The guy could cook. Let me tell you, his salad dressing, phenomenal. He wouldn't give us the recipe, but
No.
oh my, you got to have some salad when you go there.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wasn't it?
he'd
It
give
was
Paul
great.
Newman a run for his money.
Yes, he would. Yes, he would. So we're looking forward to a great time out there with Bob. That we had.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And also for the history, one of the people I've always been enamored with, a true expert of the early history, is Mr. Kenichi Matsumoto. Now, Kenichi-san, he was able to grow up in Japan, obviously, during the time when the earliest brass was being formed, the cottage industries, the little builders. He would go and visit them. And so he has an insight to those early days that I think our viewers are going to find exceptionally interesting. He can even identify like certain models by the characteristics of the builders, and just helps us see it as an art form. But also it's neat to see, and we're going to see a lot of that this season, the industry of brass, how it is still so special to own a piece. And Chuck, you're going to help us too, right? Next episode, go through that process a little bit.
We'll talk about it start to finish.
Yeah.
Right, so we're going to enjoy that.
Yeah, a lot of details there. Also, just to change gears a little bit, something else, another guest that we're going to have in the studio, we're going to be talking about the Brass Expo because of...
Yeah, Forrest Nace
Forrest
is
Nace.
going to take
Yeah,
over.
yeah.
So we're focusing on this show, Monday Morning Express.
Right.
Forrest is going to be able to really focus on that show. So we'll look forward to having him here and seeing what he has in store for that. And also his other, because he's retired now primarily from his line of work, so he's going to focus on the expo and Nace's videography.
Yeah.
He's kind of taking the torch that Alan Keller started back in the day, bringing it up with the newest technologies, and he's got some really neat techniques to do these beautiful layout tour videos. We're going to we showed a little bit of a sample of that last season, but we'll talk with him about...
Be great to have him in studio.
what he has planned for that, so we're looking forward to that.
And then finally, the other thing that we're going to have this season is our Skype interviews with, close your ears, other importers, Chuck.
Other importers.
okay.
But
We're all friends.
it is, I know you are. So we're gonna get with the other importers, and also someone that we'd really like to interview and have in studio is your partner, Mr. Ed Krasinski.
Ed
Partner
Krasinski.
Ed.
So you guys are half and half at UTI.
We're 50-50 on everything.
Okay.
We each of us runs projects, import projects. Each of us handles part of the business.
Yeah.
Ed handles the part that I have no ability in, which is the website, the tech, more aspect of the thing. And I just want everybody to know how much I appreciate you, Ed.
Ed, we love you.
We love you.
And like you, Ed's a passionate collector.
Yeah,
he
he
loves
is.
brass, he loves running it, and I think that shows in everything UTI does. That's why that end product is so spectacular.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we're looking forward to talking with you just a little bit more. But
Hopefully Ed can come to visit.
Oh yeah.
He's got an open invitation. If not, we'll at least Skype in with him
There
and
you
get
go.
him on this season for sure.
Excellent.
So let's start it off with
Yep.
Mr. Boyd Reyes. We have a nice interview
Yeah,
that you filmed with him.
No.
I thought you filmed that with him.
No, I didn't do it. You did it.
I don't remember.
You interviewed him.
I don't remember it. I don't know. Just roll the interview.
What's keeping them up? We're supposed to start this interview. They were supposed to interview me, but those guys are being tourists out here. They came out to California, and I haven't seen them. So I've got somebody in mind I'd like to interview. Why don't you come on down? Come on down. So, what got you into painting? Wow, what got me into painting? Well, back then, I've always built, as a model builder, I've built a lot of military models, and I just wanted to do something different that was profitable. And train painting is just something that's really unheard of. And so that was something that I tried out, and every week I was going down to the whistle stop, and Fred would ask me, "Are you building these models you're buying every week?" And I said, "Yeah." So from that point on, I went in there every week to go pick up trains from him. Instead of me laying out money, he was paying me to do my hobby. And, that's what really got me started back then. And to wrap things up, you okay? Thanks for joining us.
Boyd and Boyd.
Unbelievable.
He's just beside himself.
Yeah.
Oh, well, now I'm going to call Boyd. I have to talk to Boyd about why does it take so long to get models
Yeah, there's two of them for
painted
crying
and
out loud.
Actually, what he could do is he could divide up. Have one of them doing the interiors and one doing stripping and another one doing the interiors, and maybe we can clone them again, and then the next one can do
Yeah,
the painting and
right.
the decaling.
I wouldn't clone the guy who falls asleep though.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh boy, that's hard to
man.
beat. But
Yes, it is.
we had talked about going out to visit Kenichi Matsumoto and Fred Hill. So we're going to roll the first segment of that. I think you'll find it interesting, Chuck, and our viewers are going to love this. It's no secret I've long loved the history of brass model trains. Today I'm very honored to be with a gentleman, Mr. Fred Hill, who's taught me a lot, but it's always a true privilege to be with somebody such as Matsumoto-san, who I've always kind of revered as the true source of knowledge on these early days of brass. So thank you so much for joining us today. You were showing us on this map here.
Yes.
And this helps our audience understand when you grew up as a young child. So you said you lived here.
Yes, born here.
And this is just a few miles
Yes.
over to Tenshodo.
Yes. Two subway station to
Okay.
Tenshodo.
Two stops.
Okay, that's
Two stops.
right.
And 2 stops to Kauai.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next door was Transportation Museum. And
Okay.
over there, Tetsudo Mokesha.
Right.
And this is Imperial Palace.
Okay.
And General Makasa's office was here.
Right.
Tenshodo. And next door, PX for GI. And this is Tokyo Main Station. And also there was one stationery shop, but they had some small case for HO scale models.
okay.
Yes. And Mr. Kumata of Kumata Trading Company
Yes.
first saw HO set in this stationery shop, and he had come to has his emotion to HO business.
Yes.
Kumata was our first manufacturer
For the
coach.
coaching.
Yeah.
Right.
And Matsumoto introduced us to Kumata.
Very nice. And he loved building those trains.
Yeah.
Oh, he did.
The models.
He actually was in the textile business.
Oh.
And so his hobby being model trains, he wanted to build model trains.
Very interesting. So we see how you became a rail fan, and then we see how you became a model railroader
yes,
as well, to be able to
naturally.
see these craftsmen.
Living close to all of it.
Very close to all of it.
You might mention like United. People want to know where United
Right.
is. You might explain United models.
United models. Originally, United, Mr. Minari, brass model importer, like Pacific Fast Mail.
Right.
But he did not have his own shop. He was only director. But in 1960s, the order from the United States became larger and larger. They went to have their own shop. Kumata also do same.
Yeah.
And so where did that shop end up being located?
Kumata was near over here, and Minari was in the suburb of Tokyo. Tobi was also opposite next city, Yokohama. Yokohama also had many GI, naval base or Air Force base. Shinohara is also in Yokohama.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Yokohama and this Tokyo downtown area was main place for exporting brass model. And also Tenshodo originally didn't have their own workshop. 3 or 74, they also went to have their own factory, starting production brass models from FT diesels for Chemtron or International, early brass model importer in the United States.
You might mention Nakamura and Seiko,
Yes.
being that they were watchmakers.
Yes, Nakamura was the subcontractor of, originally they provide such type parts for Tetsudo Mokesha. Then they also went to have their own factory because in 1960s the order from United States were expanding.
Yes.
Yes, and year by year. So also Mizuno was interpreter of Tetsudo Mokesha.
Right.
but he also learned lost wax technique from Chemtron.
Mizuno is who we call Mizuno.
Right.
What about the company we call Katsumi and Taki-san? He was located where?
Katsumi was over there. Some part difference from here. And they were originally O-gauge toy train supplier. But
For Max Gray.
Right.
through United Mr. Minari, they also came to exporting business. Subcontractor, for example, Adachi or Sofue,
Yeah.
They were subcontractor of Katsumi.
Yeah.
Okay. And then later, so how it seems to is it started with a few, and then as they were successful, then more would join in and maybe start their own
Well,
shops.
they'd actually branch out
and
from
branch
the other
out.
shops to start. Like
Right.
Nakamura branched out from Tetsudo. And then Sofui branched out from Katsumi. Actually, Sofui started making the pilot models for Katsumi.
Techniques somewhat difference among each craftsman. So, this would be made by Adachi or Tetsudo own factory or Tenshodo.
And one thing to point out that Matsumoto-san printed two book volumes on all of these builders and what they built for the various importers.
Oh, yes.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
And I'm sure you have those in your
The Art of
library
Brass.
that you should bring out. Yeah.
Yes, we'll
the Art
show
of Brass.
those. We'll show those.
Two
Very
volumes,
nice.
and Tenshodo printed their own.
Correct.
So there's actually 3 books on call it the Art of Brass in Japan.
Right.
1 by Tenshodo and 2 by Matsumoto.
You were very interested in these models, so you were able to get to know the original builders and the owners of these companies, and so that's why it's so nice to hear from you the stories. But it's very interesting that you could tell from those, just looking at a model, who built it. Shows you kind of like an artist, the quality of their craftsmanship and certain tendencies they had. Did you have a favorite model maker?
I believe the best one would be Takeno for Toby.
Right.
And Mr. Take in Tetsudo Mokeisha.
Okay.
And Mr. Nakayama
Yes.
for PFM
Kudama.
Crown. I think those 3 craftsmen would be best in Japanese brass.
Right. Now, one thing we've tried to share with our viewers is understanding these early hand-builts were not crude. Do you think when they tried to make a much larger quantity, then the craftsmen, the early craftsmen, didn't have the time to build with such quality? Is that true?
Yes.
In many cases, like with International, they wanted such big volume
Right.
at a very, very low price that the builders would just give them just the bare.
And that's
And yet you
natural.
still had people like PFM, and then, of course, Westside was coming into play. They wanted much finer models, which they wanted to build.
Right.
So they kind of stayed away from doing the work for International, and even at that time, IHC or Bernie Paul was doing it. And that's where Takura and Gem, and they started doing finer models.
Right.
And that's when the progression started to make the better models.
So the
Because the
builders,
craftsmen, the builders wanted to do
Right.
better models. They didn't like what they were building for the toy boys.
right? they took pride in their
They
work.
did. No,
Yes,
they sure
yes,
did. Yeah.
It's definitely an honor to be able to be there with
Yeah, it was.
Kenichi Matsumoto-san. And our next segment of that will air in our 4th episode
looking
on
forward to
September
it.
24th.
Yeah.
So make sure you join us for that.
Really cool to see. Well, we have Chuck here with us, and we mentioned at the outset, Chuck, that we were going to talk about 3 projects
Yep.
on this show. So We're excited. The words Cross-Maffei
Yeah.
come off my tongue. I remember being out there at Niles Canyon Railway, and
that's right.
quite a piece to be able to see. So give us a little update on these. I know we've got pictures of UTI stuff surrounding us, behind us, next to us, and tell us what we can see in some of these.
Okay, so we're going to talk about the 3 projects that are closest in to final delivery. The first one is the Cross-Maffeis, and they're due to be shipped, the final production models, on October 15th.
Wow.
So it's right around the corner.
A little over a month
And,
away.
what you're looking at here are pictures, and if you want to go ahead and scroll through them, Roland, these are components of the Cross-Maffeis and various different stages. There's fuel tanks, looks like more fuel tanks and air tanks, and decks, and I think, is that the last one?
One more here.
One more here, yeah. So these are ready to go into the final assembly process now, and then they'll go into the painting and lettering process. So October 15th.
And how many are being made?
155.
155.
And are those still open for reservation?
We closed off the reservations, but what we don't know is the extent to which any of our dealers ordered any of them for their own stock.
Sure. We have extras, right, Roland?
Yeah.
Some still?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. So
We have a few extras, so go to our site. You can go ahead and reserve them. Boy, they're going to be great looking pieces. Really, really good. We're excited.
we saw the pilot models, and we did publish some pictures
Yeah.
of them, and they are spectacular. Level of detail not seen before. Painting is it's the same painter as the PA painter, and the painter's just extraordinary. So I can't wait to get my hands on them myself.
Looking forward to
and the
it.
9010, I think everybody's aware, is coming in a
Special.
wood special box. So now we're looking at the pilot models for the Illinois Central E8 on top and the E7.
Okay.
And these are due to be shipped to us any day now for inspection. And we're anticipating delivery of the production models then at the end of November.
Nice, nice. So those are right around the corner
They're
too.
coming along very nicely, and part of that project is the Wabash
Yes.
E7 that'll go with eventually when we bring it in the city of Kansas City. But the E unit will be coming in at the end of November along with the Illinois Central units.
Okay, and still open on reservations? for
Still
those?
open on reservations for
And if
those.
they're planning to order the passenger set, they better pick up the
The E units
now.
Yep. The third project then, and what the viewer is seeing behind us, is the Illinois Central and 10.6 project, and we're up on the screen is the 3D GOD
Yeah, it's beautiful.
of the tail car, the 3305, 3306. We were lucky to be able, Nick Muff and I were able to go to Alamosa, Colorado, and we were hosted by the Iowa Pacific team. And they gave us the run of the place, and we found one of these cars untouched, sitting next to one of the buildings. So Nick and I were able to, I should say Nick, got underneath and photographed all the details, underbody, sides, tops, ends, and all of that is captured in the 3D drawing, and that means it's going to be captured in the model. So
It's come a long way from the early days where they had one photograph of one side of a locomotive,
Yeah.
and that's what you got.
yeah, this is going to be a fantastic project. So we're still open for reservations on the Illinois Central sets, the additional Illinois Central cars, and then the whole raft of 10.6 sleepers, and all that information's on our website.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Wow.
exciting.
So
Then-
you mentioned you had some others, right? That we
So
were
the
talking
other
about later.
we have a total of 8 projects in the pipeline. The other 5 we'll talk about in future episodes are the DH Southern Pacific DH 643, the SP narrow gauge steam engines,
Slim
freight
Princess.
cars, Slim Princess, and the baggage coaches. And then next after that, we're looking at the city of Kansas City, the Norfolk Southern Heritage units, and then the Southern Pacific GP 9s
Okay.
that are steam boiler equipped for passenger service.
Wow, a lot of stuff going on at
Stuff
UTI.
going on.
That's
Yep.
a lot to be excited about.
You guys are busy.
We are.
Thanks for the update, and we'll look forward to more info on those.
Welcome to Project Updates. We know we've been off for a few weeks here during our season break, but we wanted to bring you up to speed as far as our various importers and the projects that they've been working on. Now, during the course of our break from Division Point, we have received in that mini rerun of the Alco RS project. We have received some nice models from Division Point. We still have a few of them available on our site, so be sure to check that out at brasstrains.com. Also, Division Point has told us that their HON3, the Denver Rio Grande Western, the K36, K37 project is coming along really nice. We've got a lot of reservations for those, but be sure to get yours in before it's too late. Also, the HO scale Baldwin center cab project. We have 20 different versions. Some of those have been added. So make sure to check out our site and make sure that you have your reservations in for those. And of course, a new announcement is the C&O steam turbine M1s. Now, this is a project that many of you have asked about in the past, and Jack at Division Point has gone ahead and released this project, so we look forward to that. There's going to be 4 versions of that, so check out our website for that also. And Jimmy Booth over at Glacier Park Models, we know he's been working on the PRR T1 project. 6 different versions of that project. Reservations are coming in really strong for that, so we look forward to some updated information as far as the production schedule here very shortly. Also, Fred Hill over at the Coach Yard has made some new announcements over our break. We have the Southern Pacific Starlight series. It's a 9-car set of the 94-95 train. So we look forward to that. Get your reservations in. Also, the CB&Q anniversary trains. We have 3 different ones that we're looking for, 8-car sets. You can check out our website and see all the details on those models. And finally, the Missouri River Eagle. Now, this is in 2 different sets. They have the 1940 Eagle 6-car set, as well as a 1950s Missouri River Eagle. So a lot of project updates, a lot of information coming to us from the various importers. So we look forward to getting in your reservations soon, and thanks for joining us on this week's project updates.
Hi, my name is Juan Zaloga, and when I'm not learning about weathering from Jerry or antagonizing Boyd, I'm watching Monday Morning Express.
A great episode.
Show. Yeah. Did you enjoy it?
Yes, I did.
All right. Yeah.
What's up with the double mugs?
How many mugs do you need? What are you trying to get out of here with?
You got hot and cold there, or what?
Well, we didn't want Ed to feel left out, right?
Yeah.
So grabbed an extra mug. This is your mug, Ed. I'm bringing it home.
It's coming home to you.
It's coming home.
Well, hey, thanks for joining us. We really appreciate you being out here.
Yeah.
My pleasure.
All right.
Hey, let's take a quick break and show our viewers what they can look forward to next week on Monday Morning Express.
The crew travels to beautiful Carmel by the Sea in California, and Dan discusses some of what goes on behind the scenes researching a brass model train project with Bob Darwin. Then we head to Los Angeles to learn from Boyd Reyes how to easily change the era of a brass passenger car by de-skirting a brass model. We will also learn why it's not a simple thing to control production in Korea in a segment with Chuck Sted of UTI. Finally, Dan and Ron will show you more of our New York City layout and a unique way to approach a modular build.
Once again, Chuck, it's been a great day. Beautiful kickoff to the show. It's my anniversary today, 24 years.
Oh,
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary to my wife, Amy.
Wow. You
And,
put up with them that long, huh?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we were
I
married
don't know how
young,
you did it,
obviously. And you said you just celebrated 40.
Our 40th wedding anniversary.
Very nice.
Wow. Well, I'm in between you guys. Don't worry.
All right.
You'll catch up.
Yep. 10 more years.
Very good. Well, thanks again, Chuck, and thanks for joining us on Monday Morning Express.